What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are on the tour bus outside Brooklyn Bazaar, and today we are here with the one and only Hank Von Hell. Thank you so much for your time today.
Howdy, what's up?
It's great to have you here, man.
Thanks. It's great to be back in New York. It's been a while, I think.
Yeah, it's great to have you back.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's been a year now since the release of your solo album, which is Egomania, and do you just want to talk about how the making of this record was and everything been with it thus far?
Well, it's kind of summoning up 10 years of nothingness. I've been away from the rock scene since 2011 or something. I left Turbo Negro in 2009, and I never thought that I would do rock and roll again, and this genre again. Not that I didn't want to, but having so much having been so traumatized by the music industry for so many years, I felt that some really important points needs to be in there before I agreed to do an album, and this guy from the record label called me, and he had all these elements in there, and he said, would you want to do like an international comeback solo as Hank Von Hell? And I said no, but well, my head said no, fuck you, and my mouth said yeah, all right. Because I was standing with huge bill from the IRS, Norwegian IRS, and I said, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna have to try to see it." But I needed to know that it would be like, well, the reason he convinced me was that he said, like, I want you to make the album of your dreams, make the album that you would be 15 years old, opening your first vinyl cover, gatefold, and that'll be the first album you buy ever, and it's gonna be like the ultimate rock and roll album. And I just wanted to make the album of my dreams, the album I would want to discover rock and roll with, and it's my shout at the devil, That was my first vinyl I bought for my own hard-earned cash, and when I opened up the gatefold, it was like the poison just started to work immediately, and that was like the ultimate rock and roll album. And suddenly, Egomania, it's my shot at the devil, I think. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it, and it definitely has that sort of vibe behind it. What I was curious is, being that you're such a prolific artist, between your work with Turbo Negro, collaborating with Maria Solheim, and so much. Does every project call for a new approach, or is there a usual method behind the madness that you follow?
Well, I discovered throughout time that there actually is some sort of method in my chaos, because I haven't had any like artist education. I haven't had any good education at all, basically. The little education I was good, but it wasn't a lot. And I just have had this method of doing it and see what happens. And after a while, I discovered that I'm actually, whatever it is, like this winter I'm going to do opera Mozart. I'm going to do the magic flute. So I'm going to sing opera at a big, like, fine cultural theater in Gothenburg. And sometimes it's a movie, it's a comedy, sometimes it's tragedy, sometimes it's rock and roll, sometimes it's folk song. But the method is that I just put myself into it wholeheartedly and see what happens. And I always lay out a plan that I never expect to be fulfilled. It's like if you ask the generals behind the D-Day, yeah, did you win World War II? They will say, yeah. Did it go as planned? And they would say, hell no.
No.
No, we just had to make a plan so we knew what direction to go, and then we're just winging it. But at the end of the day, it's the direction that is the plan,
Well, I feel like, you have a metal side to you, you have a rock side to you, you have a punk rock side to you. It's almost fair to say that you're like a mad scientist. You like to experiment with your music, right?
Yeah, I even have a country music side to it too. You know, I have a southern side to it. I also have that East Coast hipster side to it. You know, you can see my beard is
I wanted to say it so bad, but you said it for
yeah,
me.
it's my hipster beard, and and
You got to get the man bun to go with it.
yeah, I'm gonna have to. The thing is that the reason I dare to do all these things is that in a weird way I get away with it somehow. And getting away with it is actually key. You know, you have to fake it till you make it. And you make the sign that you're making it is not that you're that what you do is special. It's just that you get away with it. And I'm privileged because I have that. You know, you have the rock artists, they follow the rules. You know, the rock star gets away with everything, and that's one up. You know, so it's kind of like being a very magic person from Hobbit land, I guess,
Very beautiful way of putting it.
with a hipster beard. Do you think hobbits have beards?
I don't know.
How would a hipster hobbit look like? A hip hobbit?
Do you smell smoke right now? That's my brain trying to come up with the image of
Yeah,
that.
a hipster hobbit. What does a hipster hobbit read?
I think we have an idea for your next album.
It reads the Silmarillion, I guess, like all these poems. Yeah, poems in Elvish. That's yeah. A hipster hobbit reads and speaks Elvish, and consider himself a hobbit elf, I guess.
And makes an impact on the world with the ultimate man bun.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, I feel like Hank Von Hell is like, it's coming from you. It's not just a musical experience, but I almost feel like you are portraying a certain character on stage. Is this character an extension of who you are, like an extension of yourself, or when you're on stage, you're a completely different person and a completely different.
Well, there are two guys fighting over control over this body and mind, and the one guy is called Hans Erik. It's a Norwegian guy born up in northern Norway, and he doesn't like Hank von Hell very much, and Hank von Hell thinks that Hans Erik is a wimp, a wuss, a pussy, and Hans Erik thinks that Hank von Hell is an obnoxious, bad mouth, narcissistic asshole, and it's all manifest in my ass because it's my most beautiful body part, and still there's a lot of shit coming out of the middle of it, and yeah, there you go. It's about the duality of man, I guess. But Hank von Hell is actually the demon we all carry around, you know. But this guy he gets away with it. Not like you guys. You don't get away with anything. Hank von Hell gets away with everything.
Damn right.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you're going to do on stage to get away with.
I'm gonna get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or is there like a subject matter that maybe helps determine the outcome of the music?
Uh, the sometimes I get critics saying that some of my music seems laboratory made, and they think that's like a critique. In my eyes, it's actually a compliment. I do create. I'm not working alone. I have my producer and co-writer AV9 in on it, and we're kind of creating the Hank von Hell world, the songs are motivated, and so first we find the motivation for the song, and then what it's about, and it's gonna be about weird shit, and then I lyrically I lyrically create it, but I don't use so much lyrical references. But in the music thing, I kind of find colors of songs and varieties of songs, and in a tribute kind of way, grant my roots, if you get me.
Yeah. Do you have synesthesia? Do you see colors when you hear certain?
No, a good friend of mine actually have that. No, I don't see that. I see when I hear music, I see different positions from brassers. I see different free porn cuts, you know, and this is like the she-male porn, and this is like weird shit, you know, like little people's porn, and so when I hear a song, you know, I just visualize different weird porn genres. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually 1 out of 10 people in the world that hear music in porn images.
Hey, I went to art school. I mean, you could probably find a lot more people who are like that.
No, they're just perverts.
Okay, fair. That was the line of the interview. That was the line of the interview. I'm ready to end it here. Just before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. This was one hell of an awesome interview.
Remember, this is not the international sign of rock and roll. This is, you got to economize with your fingers. One finger's quite enough.
Yeah. I mean, really? I see a lot of people who don't look like metalheads giving me that sign all the time.
Yeah, that's right. And that's big misunderstanding that this has something to do with rock and roll. No, this has to do with sacrificing babies and eating goat testicles, you know. This is fucking rock and roll, man. You flip the bird to the man. Stick it to the man.
Well, from now on, when somebody gives me that from their car window when I'm crossing the street, I'm going to be flattered instead of offended.
You're going to scream, rock and roll!
There you go.
Rock and roll, yeah.
You just have the new single "Fake It" out. Is there just anything else you would like to promote for Hank Von Hell?
Oh, yeah. Next album is coming up, 2020. It's in the recording, and I have found the title of the album, and I can reveal what it's going to be called.
Okay.
Dead.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
You heard it first here. But thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Hank Von Hell. Pick up Egomania. If you haven't already, check out the new single, Fake It. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time. Oops, sorry. It's this one.